Hello, my name is Tallywyn Penry. I'm a solitary pagan witch. I'm an author and the founder of the Wolf and Howl Press. Today's little chat is about ritual because something came up in one of the comments when I think I was talking about venerating the ancestors, saying, well, I would have liked more advice on the actual ritual. What do I do? And I think actually this is a very, very important point. What do I do? There are loads of people out there who are going to tell us what to do in everything. I mean, I had a mother who totally micromanaged the lives of everyone around them, and it wasn't pleasant. I believe we should be able to manage our own beliefs. I believe that when we want to do ritual, we should do what pleases us and not what other people tell us to do. Unfortunately, you can say that organised religion has, for years, they have their books of service, they have their holy books, they have this, that and the rest of it. They have their scheme for doing things, And I think it's very important that we get away from that. And equally, I don't want to go the way of some of the more... I'm going to seem as though I'm being a bit controversial here, but we'll say it anyway. Some of the more nonconformist groups where they have what Mr. Penry used to call a hymn sandwich. A hymn, a sermon and another hymn. Because some are as simple as that. Is there anything wrong in it? Of course not. But what I'm saying is, if you're crying out to do your own ritual, then please, please, please find something that's meaningful for you. And I'm going to try today just to try and give you a few ideas. The first one is, do I need to cast a circle in order to do a ritual? No, you don't. You don't have to. A lot of people like to. A lot of people feel that going round, casting the circle, setting up their little offerings to each element, their fire, their earth or salt, a feather, their bowl of water, what have you, that's fine. That's fine. If that speaks to you, do it. But for me, it never really did the trick. There were times I would cast a circle, certainly, but most of the time I was too busy getting into nature, if you like, getting into an understanding and an awe. Socrates said, wisdom begins in wonder. I have a great liking for the ancient Greeks. It was always part of my studies. And wisdom begins in wonder. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful saying, because it does. And ritual, I think, begins in wonder too. It begins in how we react to it. What do I do? Well, an offering, for example. What are you going to offer? You're going to offer something to nature? Fine. What are you going to offer? Personally, I loathe the idea of offering any live creature. They're not ours to offer. And I think they're an absolute abomination, quite frankly, to do that. So, what would I offer? Well, nature, seeds. Seeds that grow, seeds for the birds. Very simple, but it's an offering. Take it with you. Scatter it. It's a sense... Creating ritual is about understanding a sense of occasion. It's like for me, my shawls are terribly important to me. They're important when I give a talk. They're important when I sit here and do a YouTube video. They are important when I do anything of a magical nature. It's like I'm putting on something that takes me away from the everyday life. Now, I find that very good. You might find you want to put earrings on. You might want to put a cloak on. You might want to put a special belt. Anything. It doesn't have to be a huge robe that costs you a lot of money. It's something simple. I had this in a charity shop. What do they call them in the US? Thrift shops? That's where I had this. And I love it. It makes a special feeling for special types of talks. And there's this feeling of stepping between worlds, which is really why we do a circle. We're creating, if you like, a little outdoor or indoor room, a little space where we feel we've stepped somewhere different. But you can make that feeling even when you're sweeping the backyard. You sweep the backyard, you're making it clean. You're creating a space. If you're standing on paving stones, you can imagine you've got a certain space around you. To be honest, you can just imagine a space, I don't know, a couple of feet wide, like a bubble even. You don't have to create a circle, but you do have to create a sense of occasion. And you do this sometimes by going outside because it changes the air around you. And that's very important. I mean, I find because I'm ill, I can't go out as often as I'd like. I really can't. But if I stay in too long and I don't get fresh air, I really go cabin. It's like cabin fever. I can't handle it. Even if I just go out and stand on the back doorstep, I've got to have a change of air. So that's one thing. The other thing that going outside does is it changes the sound. You have a different set of sounds outside to indoors. Indoors you control the sound around you a lot more, whether you have, I don't know, whether you have the noise of a boiler going or the noise of, I don't know, a CD playing or something like that. You control it. You go outside, you don't. You sometimes have to listen to other people's music. You sometimes have to listen to birds, which I always like, all sorts of things. People shouting. I'll tell you one story. I've got to share this one with you. I was out once, years and years ago, and I was hanging washing on the line. And it was very early and it was very quiet. And my garden is very secluded. And I couldn't see anybody around. Couldn't hear anybody around until somebody started playing Grieg's In the Hall of the Mountain King. Now I don't know whether you know it, but it's rather, it was going da 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 da, and it played right through, and then it finished. I never heard where it came from. I don't know where it came from, and it's never happened since. It was absolutely bizarre. And yet, there was a wonderful sense of occasion about being out early in the morning, listening to that. And sometimes we have to grab our moments. That's another thing about ritual, creating ritual. You don't have to sit and sort of plan, I'm going to do this because then the moon will be like that and, I don't know, Gemini will be retrograde or whatever it is, You don't have to do it like that. You can if you want to, and as part of your studies you should explore these things, of course. But you don't have to do it like that. You can literally say, wow, it's a fantastic day and that sky is so blue, and immediately you have this sense of occasion. You've created it yourself. Look at that. You don't have to be outdoors. You can be indoors. But when you go outdoors, you change the sound, you change the air, so the sense of touch with the air, the sense of sound and hearing, that's changed. Another way people often do it is they light candles. I love lighting candles because it changes the light, it changes the sight. So you're changing your things that way. And when you put something like this on, you're changing your sense of touch. And you might want to offer some sort of drink, a special drink or something, where you have a drink yourself and you share some of it with the earth. Can't do that indoors, pour it on the floor, it'd be a mess. But then again, you've changed the sense of taste. And these are little things, and I hope I return to these again later, little ideas for how you create ritual. Use your mind, use your imagination. Use everything you have. Change these things. Learn to do it quickly. All spells, all rituals are essentially please and thank you. Please may I have, or thank you for such and such. Thank you for a magical day. When I was out hanging on the washing and this music was going on, it suddenly occurred to me, this is so fantastic. I'm out on a quiet morning, the birds are singing, and it's reminding me of the creatures, the beings, the entities that belong to the earth, the Hall of the Mountain King. And that was it. And really, that little ritual, which I hadn't planned at all, it just happened, that little ritual, that sense of being in another space, if you like, of having thoughts that relate to that space and not to the world outside, it only lasted a few minutes. I don't know how long that piece of music is, but it's not long. And it's wonderful, honestly. And I'm going to read you now one little quote from Euripides, another Greek. We've had Socrates, now we're having Euripides. And I've got the wrong glasses on as usual, so we'll do our best. Happy the man whose lot it is to know the secrets of the earth. He hastens not to work his fellows hurt by unjust deeds. but with rapt admiration contemplates immortal nature's ageless harmony, and how and when her order came to be. Have a think about it. It's absolutely magical. That is really at the heart of ritual. How and when her order came to be. It is that sense of wonder. Once you get it, your whole life becomes rite and ritual. And you're not sitting there planning it and putting on robes and chanting and lighting up the incense. You don't need to. You don't need to. It's there. It's within us. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you ever so much for listening. Goodbye.